This is Booker T, five-time WCW champion. You're listening to WNS Podcast. Now, can you dig that, sucker?
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or find us on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now, being broadcast in over 30 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Hebert, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Hebert.
I'm Doug. And we welcome you to episode 152 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We are also on Twitter at WNS Podcast for the main site, WN Source. He's happy.
Yeah, we're also on Stitcher.
Sugar just kicked in. So welcome to the show. Got a lot to talk about. Going to be talking about Raw. Going to be dealing with some feedback. Going to talk about Total Divas. Hot topic. We're also going to be interviewing Gustavo Mendoza of Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. So you definitely want to stick around for that. Got your Q&A as well. Great show on the way. How you guys doing? Awesome.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
That's it?
I'm feeling better.
Yeah? Good. Doug, how you doing?
Sorry, I ate too much candy, and I'm really tired. I don't mind telling you guys that I worked my fucking ass off today. And
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Well, not too much longer.
Wine, bitch, wine.
New Year's is not too far away, so don't worry. I know it's gonna suck, but once you get to that New Year's, then hopefully it'll slow down for you. So, or is it Christmas? After Christmas, it slows down.
I don't know.
Okay.
Who knows?
Well, you know, hope everything goes well for you. Tyler, for you as well. Hope work isn't too hard for you. So welcome to the show. Gonna deal with some of your feedback. First off, well, I don't say deal, but you know, we have some feedback that we're gonna cover. It's a deal, though.
Did you check iTunes?
I checked it earlier today. I haven't checked it recently.
That's good enough. What about Stitcher?
Nope. When did I last check? I checked it yesterday.
It's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, if you're listening to us through iTunes or Stitcher, please leave us a review. Let us know what you think of the show. We would certainly appreciate it. We do have some feedback regarding last week's show. The first one coming to us from Red Robin.
Yum.
Saying, okay, I've been meaning to post this for a while, and I've been busy with work. Anyway, regarding the Cena debut, I started watching wrestling being one of Cena's biggest fans. Then I got to the point where I started to hate him. Now I've reached the point where I like Cena, but I've realized my problem with him was the way he's booked. It's okay, in my opinion, for him to seem like Superman, but when it's done too much, it takes away from the storytelling and makes it less compelling. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Sorry if I have trouble getting my point across. Thanks, guys, and have a great show.
Thanks for weighing in.
Yeah.
Happy late birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Had quite a few birthdays over the weekend and over the past week. So, happy birthday to all those people. Woo! 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 And also, special congratulations to Bound for Uli contestant Rhino getting hitched over the past week.
All right.
Say what?
So, congratulations on tying the knot. Hope the honeymoon
does
was
Facebook
fun.
not tell you like when it's people's birthdays anymore? Because the only reason I knew it was like
They do.
Red Robin's birthday is because I saw you guys comment on it. It didn't say it on the top.
On mobile, not really. Sometimes on...
It does on mobile.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Not on mine. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Ryan.
Woo!
Rhino, and happy birthday to Red Robin.
Yeah, so good stuff. Thank you for the feedback. Do you feel like that could be one of the reasons? Well, I know we've sort of done this like 3 weeks in a row now where we talk about the dynamic of Cena. But do you feel like, the Superman thing is done too often that makes it less compelling?
That's the gimmick, man. I mean, like...
Hogan kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's, I don't have the problem with it seemingly to the extent that most people seem to have a problem with it.
Don't do it too often. There's only Cena and Hogan. Who else does it?
I mean, you could probably argue that Austin was one, that he didn't lose too often.
Maybe.
You know? So, anyways, thank you for the feedback. Next one coming to us from Seth Rickson. Always nice to hear from him. Seth saying,
Hello, Seth.
You guys are being far too generous with the WWE and the pay-per-view being Survivor Series. It's like people are forgetting what a decent pay-per-view is. The fact that you guys couldn't easily name a worse pay-per-view this year says it all, because there has been a lot of bad pay-per-views this year. Doug hit it on the head with a couple good matches during the pay-per-view. The angles and setups for all the matches were terrible. The resolutions of the stories were not right, and some of the in-ring storytelling was bad. Henry coming back was great, but it was pointless and not pay-per-view worthy. It seemed like exactly what it was, a way to fill time for a pay-per-view that was lacking about an hour's worth of ring work. It would have been the bit from when Henry came back and did the Swerve retirement, then it would have been pay-per-view worthy. You guys are so hungry and have lowered your standards so much that you're not happy when WWE gives you dog shit with cheese and sauce on top of it. It still stinks like shit. It tastes like shit. It's shit. It's not lasagna because it has sauce and cheese on it.
First of all, Seth.
Thank you for the feedback.
First of all, Seth's blown it out of proportion. Like, we gave like raving reviews. We said it's not great. We said it wasn't even good. We just said it was okay. It wasn't as bad as people were making out to be.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like a glowing endorsement. We were just like, it wasn't the train wreck that people said it was.
I think he was just upset because we didn't like rip into a new one for this. Because a lot of people were. They're like, this is the worst pay-per-view ever and blah, 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 blah. Well, actually, the buy rates say otherwise as far as previous pay-per-views. Battleground apparently did just horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, thanks for weighing in. Like, I mean, I don't like disagree. I mean, I'm not like too far off of your opinion as far as it not being good. I just didn't I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was that bad. And I think like you're accusing us of something we didn't do. I think we weren't like.
He's looking for an outlet.
Right. It's cool. You can vent to us, bro.
Yeah.
It's cool.
No worries, man. We're here for you.
But we didn't like glowingly praise that pay-per-view or anything.
Yeah.
We're just like, it wasn't as bad as everyone was making it out to be.
Right.
We didn't even say it was good.
Yeah.
We just said it was okay.
Yeah.
Which I think is an apt description of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was okay. But thank you for the feedback. Last bit of feedback we have from Justin saying, in regards to Total Divas, I think it was awkward.com.
It was awkward.com. Thank you, Justin. Fuck yeah, we're going to start saying awkward.com.
Oh, God.
We're stealing it.
Oh, man.
It's ours now.
Awkward.com.
So there you go. So thank you everybody for the feedback. We do appreciate it. It's always nice to hear back from some of our listeners, and help us remember what the certain saying was or a certain match or whatever. It's always nice so that we don't sound like total idiots. But diving on into Raw, 2 weeks away from TLC, which we will be attending. Very excited about that. The tickets came in over the weekend. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go see it.
He's pumped.
I'm pumped. I'm like hyper all of a sudden. It's
Because you ate candy.
I guess that's what it was. But we start off with CM Punk coming out saying, he was attacked and he blames the authority and he doesn't want to be in their business. But, if they're dumb enough to do something like that.
Now I guess it's about time for him to be part of the storyline with the authority. Well, if they can. I mean, if the authority is behind the shield, doing all that.
It seemed like, he's coming out saying, I don't want to be part of this storyline. Stephanie McMahon came out saying, we've got other fish to fry. We're not concerned with you, so don't even deal with it. What the Shield did was on their own accord or something like that. And Kane came out as well and wasn't wearing his power red tie this week, but being the corporate man.
He's slowly growing his hair.
Growing his hair a little bit, yeah. And then the Shield did end up coming down, looking like they were going to attack. Stephanie McMahon stopped them, saying, Punk should not be attacked. He should be admired. And
hooray.
Yeah, and CM Punk was trying to call out Kane, trying to get him to come down to the ring, but Kane ended up announcing a 3-on-1 handicap match between Punk and the Shield for TLC. So what do you guys think about this opening segment?
I don't know how to feel about it, honestly. I thought it was a little weird. I don't know. I honestly don't have much to say about it.
Okay. Anything from you, Tyler? Nah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
CM Punk and the Shield.
It's weird. But, we'll look to see if they have anything to build for TLC. I know next week is going to be the Slammies, but I feel like this is one of the worst times to have that.
Well, they always do it in December.
Yeah, but you figured like they could do it 2 or 3 weeks before, their
You'd rather have it this week?
Yeah, I would have preferred to do this one because like they're going to be focusing and talking about the Slammies. Use the app. Use the app. Vote for all these things. Don't worry about what's happening in the ring. Just worry about who's getting the trophy, And I feel like...
And honestly, like when you have a pay-per-view coming up and you're talking about all this other stuff, it's just so awkward.com.
Already starting, huh? All right.
I was looking for a way to work it in.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, I saw
Thanks, Justin.
I saw a comment.
You're responsible.
Damn it! I shouldn't have put that there. But it was one of those. I saw a comment that said this episode of Raw felt like the go home show for TLC, and I felt that could be pretty accurate because they booked a lot of matches during this Raw, and they had sort of the go home finish with Cena and Orton brawling in the ring. Like that's normally the thing that happens. Before the pay-per-view to try and sell
this week.
Yeah.
And,
and they could have taken this week's episode and bumped it to next week. But anyways, we get to go into the first matchup. Damian Sandow going up against Dolph Ziggler. The rubber match. Just a traditional one-on-one match. Winner becomes number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship.
Can JBL say the word Ziggler because he says Zigger, and I keep waiting for him to drop the N word. I keep waiting for it to happen. I can see it like it's coming, right? Because he can't say Ziggler. He says Zigger every time.
Zigger.
And one time he's gonna
Zigger's just a good combatant.
He's gonna drop the N word.
What do you want me to say?
Wow.
Am I the only one that say he can't say Ziggler? He says Zigger.
I had not noticed that.
He's listen to him. He always says Zigger.
So now it's going to be one of those things where it's like you can't unhear it. It's just But I don't know. It was one of those things where like sometimes the commentary can be good. Sometimes it's just a train wreck.
All I hear is Zigger. I couldn't tell.
All I heard was skip it. This is like that's all they were talking about. Oh, skip it. Oh, you played skip it. Oh, what is that? Oh, what is that about? Is that like when you put the chalk and make the squares? Oh no, it's skip it.
Bop it.
Is it me or
That's
does
what
it?
I was waiting for.
Was it bop it? Because that's not what they were talking about.
No, skip it was a thing that they would put around their ankle. It had a long
Yeah.
plastic
that,
thing,
like-
and you would jump over the little ball.
I was thinking like bop it, twist it. What is it? Sorry, bro. Keep cutting
bop
you
it,
off.
twist it, pull it, skip it.
Does it seem like I know? We went over this, but it feels like JBL's just always just trying to get over.
Yes, and he is. He always has something to say.
Like I know this is probably gonna just skip ahead a little bit, but one thing I know it's still part of WWE, but I forgot someone's entrance. They were coming out and they were saying something, but they were just like talking about the JBL and Cole show the whole time.
Yeah, yep. Oh, that was for Wade Barrett. They're like, oh, he's been featured on the JBL and Cole show and greatest YouTube show. We should get a Slammy for our YouTube show.
While someone else was coming out. I mean, that's what I
gotcha. Yeah, it seems like JBL can be a great heel commentator, but lately he's in such a defensive mode whenever someone questions what he does, and then he's attacking when someone is saying anything else. Mm-hmm. It's like, Cole, why don't you pay attention to the match? Like, well, JBL, can you help me call the match? Hey, I'm just trying to do my job. It's like he's always got to have that last word and all that. I don't know. It's just,
I don't know who to blame. I don't know if it's to blame him or is it someone that's in his earpiece telling egging him on. Like I don't know who to blame. I just know that I don't like it, and I think it's
taking away from the matches. It's taking away from Raw.
I get that they want these guys to have characters and they want them to people to identify them with them, but get the match over first. God damn.
And then worry about your inside jokes and all that. It's just it's too much. It's 3 hours of this, and it's just too much. So
it's a 3-hour Cole and
JBL and Cole show featuring Jerry the King Lawler. So but yeah, Damian Sandow versus Dolph Ziggler. to become the number one contender with Big E Langston at ringside. I felt the match was okay. I think it was a bit shorter than the other two that they've had. Nothing really popped out to me, and the ending was kind of quick.
I don't know. It's like I feel like I don't like it when they get together and they wrestle.
Sandow and Ziggler.
Yeah. I don't know. I like them. I like them both.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
And it was one of those things where, like, as soon as they announced, oh, this is for the number one contendership for the Intercontinental Championship, I'm like, well, you can't have Ziggler go on it, especially since Langston's sitting there going, oh, yeah, we're friends again. We play Skip It backstage and stuff. It was just, I don't know. It made it a little predictable.
They can fight for the title and play Skip It.
Right. But I want to know what they're doing with the United States Championship. Like, when was the last time that Ambrose even defended it? It had to have been like a pay-per-view a while back.
Well, I mean, isn't it play into his, like, the favoritism, like, bestowed upon him by the authority? Where they're not really, like, enforcing that he needs to defend it?
I don't know. Did they?
No, I mean, you're right. You're right in saying, I don't know, like, if that's the intent, then they could show it as the intent.
Yeah.
And, like, showing them being, like giving him special treatment or whatever.
Well, definitely he's not going to defend it next pay-per-view.
Well, they did the same thing with the tag titles with the Shield. Like, before the roads got hot, like, they weren't defending the belts, really.
Yeah. And it's like they're starting to put focus on the Intercontinental Championship. I'm like, where's some of the focus for the U.S. title? Who's challenging, who's trying to get under Ambrose's skin? So, it's just odd.
Well, for a short period of time, were they doing the Dolph Ziggler Ambrose thing?
Yeah.
That was short.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. But,
they switched focus. Like, he was, like, the guy, Ambrose was the guy they were clearly the highest on at a certain point, and then they, like, changed their mind, and now Roman Reigns is their favorite.
yeah.
So they clearly shift focus. Like,
Right.
he even seems to be taking more of a leadership role in, like, speaking and things like that. Like, he's more like, I mean, Ambrose is always in the middle, and he kind of talks first and last, but almost in the way that, like, Roman acts now, it's kind of like there's more focus on him.
I'm going to kick that ass. Anyways, Sandow ended up getting the victory, becoming the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship, which will be defended at TLC, which will be cool, and I'm pumped. So, next matchup, we got to see the Bell Twins teaming up with Natalya to go up against Summer Rae, AJ, and Tamina. It was all right. Natalya ended up getting the victory for her team, and it was announced Natalya versus AJ for the Divas title, announced for TLC. So, anything from this matchup? No? Doug? No? Okay. So, next up, we got some bad news from Wade Barrett. Apparently, we're overweight.
You know what's bad news? This fucking gimmick.
Yeah. It's bad news that this is what they have for someone who's trying to make a name for themselves.
The Knuckle Fire thing was cool. They just didn't run with it.
Well, don't they? Well, at times they have stupid shit for different people. Like, wasn't Natalia with the fart and stuff?
Yeah. It's just another stupid thing that'll eventually pass. But, you give a bare knuckle fighter a finisher that uses his elbow. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But, it's just I mean, like, has he just pissed somebody off?
Well, he was having visa issues, so they weren't, like,
right,
using him. But
and so this is how they're going to use him now? It's just sad.
I like the bare knuckle. I like the bare knuckle fighter gimmick. I just don't think that they gave him, like, he didn't do the greatest job of incorporating a moveset, like, into the gimmick. Like, if your gimmick is bare knuckle fighter, I want to see a lot of strikes, and he had some strikes, but he didn't, like, I want strike heavy offense if that's, like, your gimmick, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't do a great job of that necessarily. I didn't really have a problem with the elbows so much. It's just that, like, he didn't strike enough, like, throughout the rest of his match. But this is just, like, really bad. Like, I don't know.
I'm afraid I have some bad news.
Wyatt Barrett.
I don't know. I can't see how anyone could think this is good. Maybe he does.
Maybe
have
the kids.
Heat. Maybe he does have heat, and people are like, I don't know.
This is his eternal punishment. They're just gonna repackage him until they can do nothing with him.
Repackage till he's released.
Yeah.
He's another one of those guys that everyone seemed to love that I wasn't as high on as everybody else, but like I didn't like hate the guy.
Yeah.
But like this is
Bad.
Yeah. Like bad. Like I
Bad.
can't even like it's so bad, like I feel bad making fun of it.
But it's so easy. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. But next up we got to see Daniel Bryan going up against Eric Rowan. I felt like this was a pretty good matchup. You know, Daniel Bryan getting the time to make a good matchup. Eric Rowan did his part. Yeah, he did his part in playing the big guy in the matchup. But Daniel Bryan ended up getting the victory. What do you guys think about that?
I liked it a lot. And you know, this is not even a knock on Eric Rowan, like, but I don't consider him to be like the talented half of like the Wyatt family. Like I like Luke Harper a lot.
Yeah,
I've liked him a lot for a long time. I'm a Chikara guy. He was a Chikara guy. Obviously, he's the guy I think is the most talented in that team. But I think like, you know, Rowan like was solid in this match, and goddamn, Daniel Bryan is the fucking king of big man, little man. There's no one fucking better. He pulled the rug out from Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is no longer the king of big man, little man. Daniel Bryan is the king of big man, little man. No one works that style of match better. Period. I don't know. It was really good.
Okay. And then after the matchup, after Daniel Bryan ended up getting the victory, the lights cut out. Bray Wyatt appears on screen, telling Daniel Bryan to open his eyes. You know, they just see you as a circus act, like a freak. Whereas, you know, I'll love you. They don't love you, but I will. So, what did you think about the message that Bray was trying to send? He's trying. It seemed like they're going to try and break down Daniel Bryan to get him to join in with their group.
I mean, it's weird. Like I can't ever like the Wyatt family stuff is always so weird because it's so like abstract. I don't know. Is abstract a good word for it? I don't know the word I'm really looking for. I'm going to go with abstract. Like they don't have like an established motive other than to be like weird and creepy, you know? Mm-hmm. And so you don't ever know what they're getting at. So it's hard to like understand how you feel about what they're doing because it's not really clear what they're doing other than like being chaos. Like, right. You know, like, I don't know. They're bringing, it's weird. Like, it's like one of those things where it's like, it sounds really cool, but what are they actually doing? You know? And,
I think I know a way that you could probably sum it up. It would be awkward.com.
Awkward.com. But this match was the bomb.com.
So, yeah. And then,
hey, on, if you want to fight us for it, for your catchphrases, you can come right on. We'll have you on the show. No problem, girl.
Sounds good.
Let us know.
So, after all that, Daniel Bryan ends up running into Kane. He's like, "Hello, Daniel. We're no longer tag team, but that doesn't mean you can't still put on a show or whatever. So I'm gonna put you in a triple threat match or 3-on-1 match against the Wyatt family at TLC, which is gonna be awesome.
Is there gonna be some sort of thing between Wyatt and Shield? I don't know.
I don't know if this was the plan all along or if they're like shuffling the deck because they're not going to do what they intended. Seemed like they wanted to team Punk and Bryan up against the both of them, but
that would make more sense to me rather than 3-on-1 versus and then 3-on-1. So why not have a 2-on-6?
Maybe they'll do that eventually.
Well, they have 1 week to do it, so
even like, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's certainly weird. I don't know.
Yeah, but we'll have to see where they go from there. Next up, we got to see Xavier Woods and R-Truth going up against a very angry Brodus Clay.
Can I fucking say? Because no. I don't think we've ever addressed this on the show before. Stegosaurus fucking spikes on the ring jacket. Fucking genius. Fucking genius. I'm not bullshitting. fucking awesome. And like
the Funkasaurus.
yeah, like the spikes on the gear, fucking genius.
What about the wings though?
That kind of
It
muddies
threw me
the
off a
water.
bit.
Like he should just have the stegos on the. And what's the dinosaur that has like the 3 row of spikes? Because that's what's on his gear too. Like underneath, he has stegosaurus spikes on the jacket,
Right.
And then on the singlet, he has the whatever the dinosaur is that has like the 3 rows. Of spikes.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't.
The
remember
3
which one it is.
Spikiosaurus, that one. But
3
like,
Spikiosaurus.
whoever's call that was, fucking genius.
And the hair to go with it, so be the spike at the end. But yeah, so Brodus Clay kind of upset Xavier Woods, saying, "Hey, I said you could, use my music and dance with my girls, not steal them." So a little upset that someone upshowed him.
Well, awkward.com.
So Brodus, pushing his weight around, saying, sort of teasing him, calling him rookie. You better learn your place, rookie. Like, should they really be doing the hazing thing? I know you guys aren't into sports, but this is kind of a big no-no going on right now because in football, there's a player that's in trouble for hazing a rookie. So it's pretty bad.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen
What they
in
do?
high school.
Well, it happens in high school. It happens in college.
Yeah, if it happens in
sports,
school,
apparently.
I can see. But like, the dude won't stand up for himself or what?
Well, I
'Cause
mean,
you're not obligated to like take anyone's shit. Like,
yeah, but it's one of those, oh, well, we all had to go through it, so,
Don't mean shit.
yeah. They call it, like, initiation rather than hazing or something like that. But anyways, Brodus Clay, none too happy with Xavier Woods for showing him up, showing him how to do the
so
intro.
how's he getting bullied or whatever?
Because he's, you better learn your place, rookie.
No.
What do you do?
We're talking
What do you
about
do?
the football guys, whatever those dudes are doing. How's this guy getting bullied right
Oh.
or whatever?
Oh, he received phone call. Oh, he got like stiff with the $10,000 meal bill, and
Fuck that! I'm walking out on that shit.
and just other stuff. People, calling him names and all that. So just giving him a hard time.
He's like, grow the fuck
He
up.
basically left and said, "I don't want to play for this team anymore."
$10,000. How many people were eating?
Well, it's like the team. It's like 32 or 56 people. All going out for steak and lobster.
Well, look, after like 10 of them dine and dash, you got to know something's up. Get your ass up and walk away too. How stupid is this guy? I'm contributing. I'm talking shit on this guy too. What's this guy's name?
I'm not going to say that. I'll tell y'all later. So Xavier
Seriously,
Woods.
how many people get up and walk out before you get the picture? Like, you need to get up too, right?
I don't know. So
Are we also like hazing this guy now?
maybe I don't.
hazing.
I don't.
Seriously,
condone
like
that.
I can see I get like kids in like high school like feel the pressure like they have to take kind of stuff from off people and maybe even college.
He's a senior. You're a freshman.
But like this is a grown ass man, right?
Mm.
So why is he like just being like fuck you guys? I'm paying that shit.
I don't know.
Fuck you.
But anyways, back to Raw. Xavier Woods and R-Truth going up against tons of funk. Xavier Woods getting the victory on this one. So
Why didn't he just be like get his ticket separated? Be like, this is what I had, waitress, and like
I mean, you could, I guess. I don't know.
Like,
But-
here's the guy that's the head of the team. Call him, whatever, to sort this shit out.
Look, if we go to podcast family dinner and like you guys get up and like don't come back and I'm like, fuck these assholes, I'm just gonna be like, look, waitress, this is what I have right here. This is what I'm paying for. Like, I'm not you're not stiffing me with fucking assholes.
This is awkward.com.
So what did you think about the matchup?
Which one are we talking about?
Xavier Woods and R-Truth versus Tons of Funk.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah?
I was mesmerized by the spikes in the gear.
Yeah. How about you, Tyler?
Yeah, it's entertaining. I do like the
It's
spikes.
an audio
too, but
podcast. They can't hear. They
Yeah,
can't hear
they
you
can't
shaking
hear a
your head.
nod. You gotta.
I did say something.
Okay. Continue saying something.
Don't get mad. I told you we were gonna bust your ass because of the infamous thing.
But you didn't bust my ass for it, though.
We're doing it right now.
Bust
It's
his
not
ass.
agitated.
Bust his ass. Let the people know what's happening.
It's not really happening because you're getting defensive.
Or what happened before we started recording.
We just had a dumb bet over like the release of a video game, and he lost and I won.
Yeah. So now you get to bust his ass
About the video game.
about the video game.
Yeah, I get to haze him.
Yeah. No, they're not doing that. So next matchup, we get to see. Oh well, it should be noted.
You
that
come
after-
in and have him like taped to this pole.
My boss would be very weirded out by that. So, but after the matchup, it seemed like Brodus Clay was pretty upset, and he threw Tensai back and had this mean look in his face. So, could possibly see a Brodus Clay heel turn in the near future, which would be refreshing for him because I think his current gimmick is, it's fun.
He has so much legs.
Yeah, it's fun in the beginning for him dancing and all that, but then the match has to start, and I don't know. He needs that intensity.
Well, like, it loses legs when you point out there's a guy who dances better than him. Like, this is the dancing guy.
You kind of have to stop
and you
dancing.
give them the music for Brodus.
Yeah.
Brodus' music.
Yep. So, speaking of giving people certain gimmicks, next up we got to see Alberto Del Rio going up against Sin Cara, kind of.
His build looked different too.
Yeah. So
to me,
I noticed that. I was like, he seems a little bit taller. Oh, he's got some ink done on his
do
shoulder.
you look like bigger?
Yeah. It turns out it was actually Hunico.
Yeah.
And the real Sin Cara, or Mystico, was in Mexico because he checked into like Foursquare during Raw, which is kind of weird. But
what's Foursquare?
Foursquare's not even like the hotness anymore.
Yeah.
What? Why is he in Mexico?
I don't know. Yeah, they weren't using him.
He's still under contract.
Mystico's gonna get released, and Hunico's gonna be the new Sin Cara.
Yeah, and that is sort
He's
of
the guy who filled in while he was out.
Yeah, and he also played
The other Sin Cara.
The what?
The other Sin Cara.
Yes. So, and there actually are talks about Mystico Sin Cara possibly being released after his contract expires, and it kind of poses the question: could or should anyone be able to play that part? Because Sin Cara translates to faceless or no face. So you could essentially give someone else the Sin Cara mask and say, okay, you'll be playing Sin Cara.
That's what they did to Mystico. When the fucking Mystico signed with the Fed, they made a new Mystico. This gimmick's too fucking over. We got a new Mystico.
So
CML ain't walking away from money on the table either.
So what would happen if he gets released and he goes back and then he's the other Mystico, two Mysticos?
I'm sure they'll feud for like the true Mystico spot.
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes, he fights as there's double himself.
Because let's be honest, Sin Cara's run in the WWE hasn't been the best. It
hasn't, but I don't feel that I don't feel the blame is squarely on his shoulders.
Right. Injuries happen.
They didn't. Also, they also didn't. He skipped developmental.
Yeah, and you can only do so much with a character if you can't communicate with the audience and stuff like that. So that's another contributing factor I would like to think.
They didn't do enough to like.
Excuse me.
To like highlight the positives of Sin Cara.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a debate you can have. Is it his responsibility to learn the style of
Somewhat,
the WWE,
yeah.
or do you want? Well, if you would argue that, I would argue that the plus of having Sin Cara is that he works a different style, and like I get tired of seeing all these dudes working the same like homogenized style, and that's why nobody stands out anymore.
Yeah.
So the plus of making Sin Cara as a big star is he's different. He works different.
Right.
So give him some guys to fucking work with, or.
Yeah, because whenever he first came in, it was Chavo, and then it was Del Rio, and then they teamed him up with Mysterio. So I don't know. It's just
see, I could see people saying that it's his duty to learn the style, and I would argue that.
Well, it's a little bit of both.
Well, like my opinion is that you have 50 other guys in developmental that work that fucking style.
Yeah.
You sign Sin Cara because he fucking works lucha. So give him some motherfuckers that work lucha.
Yeah. Put some excitement in the seats.
Well, I'm hoping that they don't release him. I that's just me hoping.
I got no beef with Hunico, but that Sin Cara Rey Mysterio thing they want to do, I'm not fucking interested unless it's Sin Cara, unless it's Mystico versus fucking Rey.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I don't give a fuck about Hunico versus Rey. No offense to Hunico, I got no problems with the guy, but I want Mystico versus Rey, or I don't give a fuck.
Well, that brings me back to the question: should anyone be able to play the role of Sin Cara? Can they?
It's their IP, their intellectual property. They fucking own the rights to it. They
Mm-hmm.
put whoever they wanted in the match. Just like CMLL made a new Mystico when Mystico left.
And you have someone in Hunico that has worked in NXT that knows the style of WWE matches who can still also do some, a luchador style.
I like Hunico. Like I said, I got no beef with him. He is more of a guy who's going to work the Fed style with a little bit of lucha flair.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, give me fucking lucha or don't give me lucha. Like, I don't
Right.
need like homogenized like American style. Like the appeal of Mystico is having fucking Mystico, not having Mystico try to do what all these other fucking dudes are doing already.
Right.
You don't need guys to do that because you got 75 other guys who can do that.
Right. And it's going to be hard if they go back to Mystico because they even showed a tweet on their little scroll bar of someone saying, "Oh, looks like Sin Cara got some ink done." So like you bring Mystico back, doesn't have that tattoo on his arm.
I think they're done with him though.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame, but I don't know. I don't feel like I will entertain an argument that he didn't do all he could do to succeed, but I don't think the blame is squarely on his shoulders.
Right.
I don't think they did enough.
They didn't provide enough.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, and that's a fair argument too. So
I would like to get those masks, the half masks with Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara masks.
yeah,
the
those
two
are
different
pretty
ones.
sweet. So very cool stuff. But Hunico as Sin Cara ended up defeating Alberto Del Rio. So it looks like they might at least continue the storyline of Sin Cara, being
are
there.
you guys interested in that? Do you give a fuck about Hunico versus Ray, or do you want fucking Mystico versus Ray?
I'm kind of half and half. I would like to see Mystico versus Ray though. They never fought each other.
No.
Ray was already in America when Mystico was making waves in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Does it?
Okay. I mean, I don't know. It'd be cool to see Mystico versus Rey Mysterio. But if they just want to have Sin Cara, quote unquote, versus Rey Mysterio for WrestleMania,
They don't
just
care
so
about
they
the
can-
match. They just want to be like, this guy has a cool mask and this guy has a cool mask.
Yeah, and we want to make a world record by having everyone wear a mask.
What they're gonna do is after they release Sin Cara, well, if they do, and all the people in the audience are gonna chant Hunico.
I doubt that.
You think that?
It didn't seem like he got that much
I don't
of
know.
a
I wouldn't
reaction.
put it past these motherfuckers. They want to fucking yell anything about anybody.
Yeah. So who knows? But we'll see where they go. But next up, we got to see the Shield going up against Cody Rhodes, Goldust, and the Big Show, who was showing that he was perfectly cleared after the near concussion symptoms that he was showing last week on Raw. I thought all six guys did a good job in their matchup. I like the facial expressions that Ambrose shows, especially whenever he got the slaps from
This really bothers me though.
the little arm
He does
waves
it all.
and
He
stuff.
does it like everything.
He has like a sort of like a twitch on stuff that he does. Like he hits the ropes and he'll do a little jitter. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's like no popping and locking, bro. Like fucking.
So I thought the match was pretty good. What do you guys think?
I thought it was fun. I mean, I didn't like it as much as I liked the Bryan match, but I'm also super fucking mega Bryan Mark fanboy, so that's pretty reasonable for people to assume that I didn't.
Yeah. How about you, Tyler?
It was enjoyable that at first that the Shield was actually getting beat up at first, and then they came back and who got the pin? I forgot who got the pin.
I believe it was Rollins got the pin.
It wasn't Reigns.
No, it wasn't Reigns because he speared Big Show on the outside. So it was either Ambrose or Rollins, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, the Shield ends up picking the victory, or getting the victory, I should say. So not too bad. But speaking of bad, we do have some bad news. We're constipated, apparently, from all the turkey that we ate.
I'm not constipated because I took a dump before the show.
Oh, wow. Okay. So just they're gonna burn this thing into our heads, this bad news
It's like
Barrett
the
stuff. Yeah, it's going to be bad. Like, how many more times are they going to have to teach us how to download an app?
I don't know how.
Seriously? If you have a smartphone, you know how to do it. Like, good Lord. So, next up, we got to see Ryback and Curtis Axel going up against The Miz and Kofi Kingston, who put aside their differences and said, oh, we're on good terms again for this week. And they end up losing, and Miz slaps Kofi, and Kofi's like, are you kidding me, bro? And whatever.
That can't work again after this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they're going with this. They're either, like, going to hate each other so much that when someone else tries to beat them up, they team together. I don't know where they're going with this. Not sure I care either.
You care. You care.
I mean, we're talking about it, so obviously we care a little bit, but or were we just talking about it just to
You love
say,
The Miz.
make sure we cover it? So, Doug, let's get your brutally honest opinion on this.
What?
I don't know.
Am I ever not honest?
You're
always honest.
Brutally honest.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, it feels like this feels like. I mean, these are all the dudes who are like don't have anything going on. They're just gonna tag them up, which is fine. I mean, I think if it's gonna play into the tag division, I don't think we've seen like much evidence of that. Yeah, I don't like most of these guys. Also, I think all the guys in this match are like, I think they were like all the guys with the ugliest tights. You guys are in this match because fucking Ryback's tights.
What about Xavier Woods' tights for this week?
He's got too much going on.
Still?
He's got a good look, but he's like
Still too much?
a little bit too much.
Okay.
And we're gonna start a new segment on the show where we're gonna critique everyone's tights.
What were they wearing?
Yeah.
Can we talk? So,
Let's talk fashion.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna start a fashion segment.
will it come before or after Total Diva?
I don't know. Start
Okay.
brainstorming names for this segment.
All right. Total dressing with Tyler and Doug. So, anyways, I felt like this matchup, the crowd was completely out of it. They did not care about anyone that was in the ring. They cheered a little bit when Kofi got in the ring and started getting some offense, but that was about as far as it got.
Skills.
With
a Z.
Oh, it was the Z. Yeah, skills all day. So, but Ryback and Curtis Axel end up getting the victory.
I feel like Ryback and Axel is going to be probably like a tag team that they're going to put.
Yeah. They're
in
doing
the tag
it.
division.
They're doing it without Paul Heyman's help. So
This was like a test of my endurance. They're all the guys that you hate the most. Pick all the guys you hate the most and put them in one fucking match.
You have to watch it and don't blink.
I fucking hate the Miz. I fucking hate Kofi Kingston. I fucking hate Curtis Axel. Like, I don't have any real problems with Ryback. I can't stand the rest of the guys.
I was going through our page, and I found some of the old questions that we used to ask back from the Bound for Uli series, and the one where we said, "How would Doug die? How would we kill Doug?"
Mm-hmm.
And the most answered response was, "Make you watch a 3-disc Kofi Kingston series."
Most people said that.
Yeah. So.
Jerks.
So it was pretty funny. Anyways, that takes us into the next matchup. Fandango going up against Mark Henry. Very short matchup. Typical squash match. Mark Henry ends up getting the victory.
It was fresh.
Had some dance moves to
I loved it.
tease Summer Rae. And Mark Henry did respond on his Twitter page saying that was just a one-time thing. So
What, the dance?
yeah, the dancing.
He had a big smile about it. He was happy about it.
Y'all a bunch of puppets.
What did he do? He grabbed the rope and he went like he did like a pelvic thrust thing.
I thought it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck anybody who doesn't like Mark Henry. He's the best.
This
was like them. This is them rewarding me for like what I had to suffer before the match before. They were like,
all right, you made it through that, so here's
Mark Henry.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So next up, we had the main event of the evening: Real Americans going up against the Primetime Players, and they showed recaps from what happened on SmackDown with Titus O'Neil eating too much food and end up getting sick, which he puked into JBL's hat and put it on Michael Cole's head and puked into Zeb Coulter's hair. Like, okay. But anyways, Real Americans going up against primetime players. What do you think about the matchup?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a lot of fun. Excuse me. I don't know. I thought it was cool. What's his name?
Titus?
No.
Darren.
Darren had like a super like fun like hot tag where he came in like House of Fire. Looking fresh. I thought it was cool. I liked it. I didn't mind them playing off the puke thing with he's like, no, don't fucking give him the big spin. Like,
Don't do it. No, get out of there.
I was fine with it.
Yeah. I enjoyed it too. Did it seem like they focused on on the Real Americans, they focused on Cesaro more than Swagger?
They always kind of do.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
They've got like tracksuits now with the thing on it.
Yeah. With the,
that's just
coiled snake.
If you think about it, yeah, it is more Cesaro than Swagger.
And you can't put Swagger down. He's a gifted athlete and all that.
I don't have any beef with Swagger.
Yeah. But it's just Cesaro has that next level feel.
And honestly, like he's had to tone himself down so much. Like, I mean, the first like half of this year, he was having fucking killer matches with everybody on the card. Anybody they put him in the ring with, he's really not had like a true like opportunity to like showcase himself.
Yeah.
He's kind of like devolved a little bit into like a 2-spot guy. He does the leapfrog, double stomp. He does the big swing now.
In your opinion?
Yeah. Well, the finish was hot. Of course, it's awesome to see him like hit the European, but I don't know. I don't mind the team. I like Zeb. I like them as a team. Just kind of ready for like Cesaro to break off and do his own thing.
Yeah.
To him just to do his own thing, or just to him also to break off and elevate?
Well, I mean, I
think you have to have him elevate if you're going to break him off.
Yeah, there's no point in breaking up the team if you're not going to elevate him. But I don't mind them like being affiliated still or whatever. Like, I just want to, at the very least, if you're not going to like,
Zeb,
don't
thanks
turn
for
them
all
against them. Don't turn them against them. Just say, hey, we're friends going separate ways.
Zeb, thanks for all you've taught me.
No, I mean, I don't even care about that. I'm saying like, if they're not going to push him, I want to see kick-ass matches that he's in, So, I don't know.
Okay. Next up, we got to see the contract signing between.
Feud with Mark Henry. God damn, I want to see that.
Oh,
God damn,
Cesaro and Mark Henry.
That'd be cool. So, but finally, we got to see the contract signing between Randy Orton and John Cena. It was a very good promo from Cena.
I know, but I'm gonna whisper it. I'm gonna let you talk about it because if I say it, everyone's gonna be like, sucking Cena's dick, yo.
But
I'm just gonna say I thought it was good, and then you guys can talk about it.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of hokey what Stephanie was doing when Triple H was saying off some of the champions that have held the WWE Championship, and Stephanie would be like, and Triple H, and then he would go off and say some of the names who held the World Heavyweight Championship, and Stephanie was like, and Triple H. Don't forget about him. So, it was just, that part was weird, and Orton delivering his promo was just, I don't know. He's lost some of his touch, I guess. But Cena came out and delivered, really good stuff. We know he's capable of this kind of stuff. He delivers when he needs to. And, I saw a comment that said he just doesn't do it enough, But if you do it that much, then it could, you could get tired of it. So whenever he does it, when he delivers promos like this, it makes it a little more special.
I don't know if you can compare it to the same thing, but like, when was the last time he cut The Rock? There was a time where with The Rock stuff he cut. But
so it was one of those where, we know we have history together. Let's just cut all the bull, and this is let's get the sell. And
so they presented initially as we're going to unify the belts.
Yeah.
Then they kind of like pumped the brakes. They were real weird about the wording. Then they were wording things like really specifically, like we're not necessarily saying we're unifying the belts, but we're unifying the belts. And then like now they're like, vote on a name. Do you want to be like the unified champs?
And I'm
they're
sure
like,
they'll take it into consideration.
right. And then they're like, well, one guy's walking away with both belts, so they're leaving
We're
it like
guaranteeing one winner.
How do
they're
you
leaving it as ambiguous as possible.
How do you do that? Like, okay, they pick out a name, then someone wins it. And they carry both titles around for a while. Should they keep it like that, or should they like split it eventually? Again, I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Well, my thing is like if they're going to unify the belt, then they should have kept the fucking new belt until they did that, right?
Right. Don't have The Rock debut it.
Right.
They could have done that,
If you're going to unify, then you should have held off on debuting the belt.
Right. So, because it would make no sense in having a brand new belt.
Yeah, if they make like another new belt, it's like, what
it's
the
like,
fuck?
oh, you debuted this in February, and we're done with it. So, thanks.
So they're not. So I think we're like on the same page that we're not getting like a new belt.
No. Not
So
at
they're
all.
just going to toss the world heavyweight aside and be like, this is the whatever.
I like the world heavyweight better. The look of it.
Just a big gold plate.
Well, yeah, but they're
Not going to get. They're
if you
not
think
gonna,
they debuted a new belt and they're going with the world heavyweight, you're
I
crazy.
know they wouldn't do that, but
I mean, because we all know what's happening. Cena's winning both the belts. Bryan's winning the Rumble. Bryan's gonna win the fucking belt off of Cena at Mania.
So we'll have to see if that plays out.
No, we're gonna have to see.
Yeah,
Cena's gonna win the belt.
You're calling it now?
Cena's winning TLC.
So you're giving your TLC, Rumble, and WrestleMania predictions right now.
here, right now.
Okay.
Cena's winning. Cena's taking them both at TLC. Bryan's winning the Rumble. Bryan's crowned the man at WrestleMania off of Cena.
Okay.
Bryan beats Cena. We're going to be there at WrestleMania 30. I'll be screaming like a little schoolgirl and Bryan pins.
And you're just going to be like, hell yeah, I called it months ago.
Well, everybody knows it. Everyone knows.
it's gonna
Everybody
happen.
knows. that's
Everybody
gonna happen.
knows, so, right? Yeah. It's hard to believe we're now less than 4 months away from WrestleMania.
So,
Time's going to fly by so fast to this event. I hope.
true or false?
true. It's gonna happen. True. You say true. Say true.
I can't give you an answer right now.
Yeah, you can. It's
I
true.
can't.
He says true.
I can't call it this soon. I just can't.
I can see it clearly in my head.
I can see clearly now.
It's like connect the dots.
Bry is champ.
Yes.
Gonna be a bride.
Although I thought
sunshine
they
day.
would do Cena versus Taker before Taker hung him up. So yes, at least go one more year.
Well, then
Put him
Orton
in
would
an
have
odd
to
year.
win.
Hmm?
Then Orton would win, and Bryan would catch.
No, but they're not going to do it. I don't think.
Okay.
I'm saying before Taker hangs him up, I think it's a mistake to not do Cena Taker at Mania.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Have Orton win the TLC, and do that storyline with Bryan, and then Cena can face Taker.
Nope.
No? Okay. So, and they, after the contract was signed, they, cut their promos and had their brawl, which I thought was really well done. And that's how we kind of closed out Raw. Them brawling, and Orton ended up standing over Cena holding both belts because he's the Viper. Randy Orton. So, overall thoughts on Raw?
It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all right. Next week we're gonna see how that goes.
Yeah, with the Slammies. Oh, joy, the Slammies. Not looking forward to that.
You're listening to a special interview segment for the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com.
Okay, folks, joining us on the show this week, current Reality of Wrestling champion. He is a part of Team International, the one and only Gustavo Mendoza. Mr. Mendoza, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We certainly do appreciate it. Getting ready for Christmas Chaos, taking place December 14th out of the Clear Lake Sports and Recreation Center at 16511 Diana Lane in Houston. Showtime is going to be at 7:30. Doors are going to be opening at 6:30. Make sure you get on out there. Going to be special guests, the Boogeyman, as well as Stevie Ray from Harlem Heat. The Samoan Beast going up against Jared Steele. It's going to be a no-holds-barred match. Definitely want to check out that one. The Lockharts versus Aiden Cristiano and Mr. X. Ruthless Ryan Davidson versus Mysterious Q, match number 2 in a best-of-5 series. The Pride going up against you, sir, Gustavo Mendoza, for the ROW Championship. Are you ready for this?
I think the most generic answer would be, yeah, I'm ready for it, but I really have been preparing for this one match I've known about this match for about 2 months now, but I've actually been prepared for it for about 7 years. This thing with Chris and I, the Pride, it goes back way before the ROW was even born, really, because both, I'm going to call him Chris. I don't want to call him the Pride. But he and I, we trained at the same place. We trained under Booker's school for the PWA, the Pro Wrestling Academy. And we always had this unspoken rivalry. We always had this, he was there first, and he kind of, he was showing me the ropes for a little bit, and I was kind of training alongside with him. And once he started doing the shows, what eventually would have become the ROW, we never got a chance to work each other. We never wrestled each other. But that unspoken rivalry sort of took this interesting turn, and it got a little personal for a while, and we really didn't do it on the show. I tried to keep it as professional as I could, but when it comes down to it, I really just don't like the guy. I won't take anything from his incredible athleticism, and the guy's a good wrestler for sure. So I'm definitely looking forward to finally kind of matching up with him and proving myself right after all these years.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be a great matchup. I'm sure the fans are going to love it. We do have some exclusive announcements. Haven't been announced yet, but we get the exclusive on it. Kelly Kevin going to be taking on Cinema. Also, Rockstar Rowby going to be taking on Cedric Payne. So also to be scheduled in action, Kid Ransom, Alex Rain, Sergey Volkov, American Eagle, Abel Andrew Jackson, so much more. It's going to be a great show. To be a part of a group like this, how did you originally get into wrestling?
It's really kind of a funny story. I was 18. I had just graduated out of high school, and my uncle told me that Booker T was having a open house 4 minutes from where we live. My uncle's Rubio, who's my manager. We both grew up as wrestling fans. I mean, it's what kept us so close together. We bonded over it. And, the open house was like, we got to go check it out. We always thought wouldn't it be great to just at least try it, to say that, that we did it. And, not knowing or thinking that it could ever lead to anything, certainly not realizing that it could lead to whatever ROW has opened its doors for us. We met with Book, and, he kind of gave us, he told us, this is the reality. This is what it really is. It's not easy, and you have to have a certain love for it. And, being 18, there was no way I wasn't going to sign up. And he and I both signed up in 2006, and I've been doing it with I've been at Book's gym ever since.
Very cool. What were your first impressions working with Booker?
He's a lot taller than I thought he was going to be. Man, the guy can shake a hand for sure. He's got a grip. But I think the first thing that really kind of just hit me was how he sees things is completely different than you wouldn't be able to catch certain details the way he sees things. The both of us could be in the same room watching the very same thing, and he will catch everything under the sun. He looks at everything from every possible angle, and things that it just blows my mind. And he's very, very he's a very skilled, psychology is what we call it, but he's really good at what he does. And Not that anybody ever really questioned that.
We actually we had Booker on kind of, I guess, when ROW was ramping up, getting ready to debut, and one of the questions we asked Booker was, all you guys being his students, we're like, so, we kind of pushed him to name some guys coming, from his school that, he, thought pretty highly of, who's someone that we should be looking out for. And you're like one of the guys he threw out there immediately. So how does it feel to think like the Booker T, like, thinks Gustavo Mendoza when he's like throwing guys out there?
I'm really surprised that, it always surprises me when he says that. The reason it surprises me is because, back to that story when I first went to go meet with Book, what I kind of left out was, at the same time that I went to go meet with him and find out information, he was, of course I found this out years later, he was actually trying to get me not to join. But I couldn't see it. I was so blinded by the fact that I was in the same place, not just in the same place with Booker, but I was in the same place, with a ring. His old gym was a big warehouse and had 4 or 5 different training rings. I've never seen that many rings in my life, and I was more starstruck with the rings, to be honest. But later on I found out, when you first met up with us, I was actually trying to get you not to join because I didn't think that you really were going to last very long in the training. I go, really? You really said that? And he said, and you know what? You ended up kind of proving me wrong because you stuck around. And he said that he told that story to everybody that kind of went in, and he sort of stopped. He gave everybody a chance from that point on, thinking, well, I'm gonna. I was proven wrong once, and I think everybody deserves a chance at their dream, and from that point on, that kind of started. But yeah, yeah, that's all I got to say about this.
Well, very cool stuff. And for those of you who don't follow ROW, you are part of a group called Team International. How did that group come to be? And what's your main mission?
The thing with Team International, we've been doing Team International pretty much the entire run of ROW, but we've actually been doing longer. We've been doing Team International a lot longer than that. I think the name came once we had Evan Cristiano join the group. Originally, we were Team Cuba, just me and Rubio. And, me and Aiden had a really good chemistry, and it just made sense. So we couldn't be called Team Cuba, and then Team International just kind of grew out of that. And then after a while, we started recruiting more people, and Sergey Rolkov joined the group, and then we had X, and then Reina, and then with Rubio. So after a while, we had a pretty big stable, and Team International just kind of stuck. As far as our mission, originally the idea was that I wanted to get Team International on the very first episode, but I was told that we should hold off on Team International, that they just want to introduce all the people, because once we started ROW, we were branching out to a bigger audience, and not everybody knew who all of us were, so they just wanted to introduce our characters, which I understood. So I did a lot of singles work before, we were still Team International, but we weren't really going out there doing our thing. And finally, I kind of hit a bit of a slump, and I was doing really poorly for about a good 4 to 5 episodes. I was on a losing streak, and then finally I was like, we just need to do this Team International thing now, because it's not working out too well for me without it. So we went ahead and we did Team International, and I think it was around the time of the Olympics that just passed. So I kind of coined the phrase that Team International was going to start winning, and the Team International was going to take all of the gold. And then I just really liked how that sounded, and it made a lot of sense to me. So, I'm just going to start saying it until somebody starts noticing that we won all the gold. And before you know it, we were all champions now. So
I've actually seen you work, quite a bit of times in quite a few different companies. Of course, ROW. Back in the PWA days, we've seen you for TSAW, Gulf Coast Power Pro. This now Hurricane Pro. I think the majority of the times that I've seen you work, you've always been heel. I mean, is that something you're like most comfortable with, and where you like to be as a character, or do you see yourself branching out as a babyface? Or?
Well, I think that's the easiest way for people to really understand. I think I can get the very most out of, Gustavo Mendoza from that point of view. It's easier for me to just say that I really don't care what people think about me than for me to go out there and favor to them. They'll either like the work or they won't like the work. That if they cheer it, then they like the work. If they boo it, then they don't like it. And I for a while, I think I did do babyface for about I think I did it for like 6 months, and just when I first wanted to join the gym, I actually thought that that's what I wanted to do, because it is. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're in wrestling or it's in your real life. It's really hard to get people to like you that don't know you.
Right.
And I mean, you'll be judged a lot harsher for trying to get people to like you. And I realized that people were overlooking certain things about my matches because, for a brief while I was trying the babyface thing, and I just, I didn't like it. I had gotten so used to, being more of myself, and the Gustavo really just kind of comes out a lot easier when I'm on full heel mode, and after a while you just really start to like it. I'm not gonna lie, you just really like it.
This is more fun being a heel.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
what's the best kind of reaction you've gotten from a crowd playing heel?
As far as like them really just not liking what I was doing, or as far as them like cheering me.
Ever having like any grannies flip you off, or just any kind of crazy reaction?
I once had a guy in a mullet chant some really racist things to me but it was in a lucha show, so I don't know how smart that was. It was really, really bizarre. Actually, recently, and it happened twice. Not to give away too much of, because I believe we recently had episode 51 of ROW premiere last week. This coming week is 52, which is the most recent show. It'll be the last show before Christmas Chaos. The last show I was on, which I believe was 49 and 52, there's something that I do on the show that this one particular fan wasn't too pleased with, that I heard actually left the venue when I did it on episode 49. And then when I did it again in episode 52, same fan got up and left again.
At least you already paid.
I took it as a compliment. Yeah.
You already got their money. What else do they need?
So I'm sure that person's not real happy with me right now, but, what can I say? It's the job. I got to do, going out there to do what I do best,
How do you feel about, we hear a lot, we kind of pride ourselves on being like trying to have a sense of community along online with listeners, and what we hear like more and more often these days is fans that they seem to want more shades of gray in their characters, and it seems like to this newer generation of fans, like the babyface heel dynamic is like not as important to them, and they just want to see like dudes doing moves and stuff like that. Like as a younger guy coming up, obviously you've been in the game for a few years now, but how important is the babyface heel dynamic to you as a wrestler?
I think it really, in my opinion, really is the most important aspect of the wrestling business, because I'm a big movie buff, good ones and bad ones. You watch any good movie, The Matrix is the first thing that comes to mind. So you watch The Matrix, you got Neo and you got Smith. You got the good guy, you got the hero, and you got the bad guy. It drives the story, and essentially it takes you to where, you watch a movie so you can see how it ends. And in any good match, everybody watches to see who wins. And I think people get emotionally invested in a match where they have, they care about people. And the best way to draw emotion is, faces, when you got a good guy there, whether you like him or not. There's a lot of people out there that don't like the baby faces. They think it's too corny. They like the heels a lot better. Everybody has their own flavor of ice cream. But I think that it's not that it's an easier, like you can follow it a lot easier, but I think that it just makes for better. It just makes for a better wrestling match, to be honest, just to have that concept. They do have, they have the babyface matches, and those are good, and it's good to have them. And the even more rare heel versus heel matches, they're good to have, but I think that the classic match is what people really pay to see.
Well, you spoke a little bit about how some fans think it's kind of corny and kind of played out. But as a guy who works heel a lot, how do you feel about fans that cheer heels? Would you rather, if someone appreciates your work as a heel, would you rather their response be to boo you in appreciation of your work, or would you rather it be like organic? They would cheer you if they like you, or boo you if they don't like you.
I think my first reaction is to say that if they boo me, it'd be better. The reason I say it is because I'm not gonna segregate the crowd. I'm not gonna, if you're cheering for me and everybody else is booing me, I'm not gonna point out. I'm gonna treat them all the very same.
Right.
I'm going out there. I'm gonna give them the same performance. I'm not gonna start singling out people in the crowd just because they like me. And that's I would consider that a selfish way of going about my job. I feel like I wouldn't be doing my job. My job is to go out there and be myself to everyone, and not segregate and I don't want to say break character, but I don't want to go away from what I'm trying to do, because if I do that, then I stop. Then my like you said earlier, like what is our mission? Well, I would feel like our mission would sort of derail after that it wouldn't be as impactful. And I think that it's important to go out there and, if they're all booing at me, then that's great. If some people are cheering, I'm not going to tell them stop cheering at me because I'm a bad guy. If they want to cheer, that's great. Because at the end of the day, any reaction is better than no reaction.
Right.
So, I mean, if I went out there and nobody was saying anything, that's when I'd be really worried, to be honest, because nobody wants that. Because they're all going to be entertained, and people are entertained differently. So I have no say or control of how someone's going to, when I hit a clothesline, someone might like it, someone might not. That's up to them.
And we've had a lot of people on the show over the past few years that we've been doing this, and we tend to ask a reoccurring question just to sort of get a base on it, because Doug and Tyler, big comic fans, and they tend to ask do you feel like there is a connection between comics and wrestling, whereas you can identify yourself as a different persona? And I think Doug would probably ask it a little bit better.
Yeah, we see it as like real life superheroes and supervillains. We think there's like a big crossover audience there, and we're just kind of interested in getting everyone's take on that.
Oh no, I mean, I completely agree that what other job can you wear tights? It's true. I mean, and it's that same complex where and this even kind of applies to what you were saying earlier, but like, how do you feel about when the fans are booing at you when they're supposed to be cheering at you, or cheering at you when they're supposed to be booing at you? That's kind of like the X-Men, right? Like they're mutants, and then the humans don't really like him, but then they still do good. And I mean, that's kind of like the Cena complex right there, right? I mean, they don't like you, but you're doing the right thing. I feel that, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and I'm not even going to mention how many people in the business that, you know, adore comics and stuff like that. So, and myself included. So yeah, I definitely see the similarities. I mean, it's, yeah, it's like that question that was, that opinion that was stated in Kill Bill 2, where they talk about, you know, are you Peter Parker putting on the suit to become Spider-Man, or are you Superman putting on the costume to become Clark Kent? You know, I think there are definitely similarities between the two. And I just wish we actually had superpowers. That'd be great.
Take wrestling to a whole new level.
Yeah, that would be a show to watch for sure.
ROW obviously has like a really great web presence with the YouTube show, getting out there weekly. Obviously that's really great for exposure. But another thing that I kind of wonder about it, and something I've kind of noticed about seeing you guys show, is working for the camera. I think it's like something that's a criticism that's kind of hoisted upon a lot of guys, especially even like top name indie guys, like when they're making the jump. Like a lot of people, often criticism is not being able to work towards the camera, because even your big name indies with like DVD and MP4 distribution, it feels like a lot of the times those guys are just having their matches, and if they catch the right angles, then great, but they're not necessarily working to the camera. Is that something like book concentrates on with you guys, and is it something that another, you know, a positive coming out of ROW other than exposure is like working towards the camera?
I think the way he puts it, it's more of just be aware of the camera. You know, the camera is an audience all of its own, and you know, I always see it. You know, you don't want to leave out the people that are there, but at the same time, you know, you have to pay respect to the camera, because, you know, there's a lot more people watching at home. So, you know, we're definitely aware of the camera. You know, we got our own hard camera, and then we got the, you know, 2 or 3 roaming cameras ringside, and, you know, you know, but at the same time, it's a balance. You have to be aware of all these things, but at the same time, it doesn't, you don't want to take away from what you're trying to do in the ring. You want to make sure to execute things, you know, execute your moves, and when you striking your poses, you want to put yourself in the position that's when you're catering towards the, you know, the cameras and stuff. But at the same time, you don't want to segregate. You know, you don't want to ignore the people that are actually there. So yeah, that is definitely something that ROW does a little different than some of the other promotions that I've seen in the Texas area, for sure.
You feel that like gives you guys a leg up on a lot of independent wrestlers out there?
Well, that have come through ROW.
Well, just in general. I mean, do you feel like that's like an aspect of your game that's you know, more polished than some guys who maybe don't have the opportunity to work with cameras? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I think the biggest advantage of ours, I mean, and of course I'm not, you know, obviously having Booker there is probably the biggest benefit to us, but the setup, the stage, the screens, commentators, the you know, the equipment, the cameras, the lighting, it's the most professional looking indie place I've ever seen. You know, it almost like it's the most pro we can get while still being in the indies. And, you know, I've wrestled out of a VFW hall, and, you know, with one curtain that's barely dangling over the doorway. Well, it's the same doorway as people walking in. You know, obviously some productions are different than others, and also that means that some shows cater to different things. You know, those shows are, you know, could be considered maybe kids shows, and then it's different. You know, but for our show, we because when we had PWA, and we had PWA, for those of you that don't know, that PWA has been around was around for about a good 4 or 5 years. And once we decided that we wanted to branch out to a bigger audience, because we were having really good shows, or at least we were fairly confident that there were really good shows. But nobody was watching. We couldn't, we had the people that were there, but, maybe we'd put out a match here, a match there, but nobody would know what storyline to follow. It was really going out there and just putting out all this work and all these matches, and we were having great shows, but nobody knew where we were. Nobody knew of us, and at the end of the day, if nobody knows of you, then, what have you really done? So ROW sort of grew out of Book, knowing that he can put on those really great shows and then finally building a stage for us to have those shows in them. And going out and wrestling at other places, we sort of, we learned a lot of things. That's where we learned how to really use the crowd to our advantage and apply it to the performance. And I'm sure, some of the baby faces, the good guys, I'm sure they feed off of, when the fans cheer them. I'm sure when they boo them, they probably try to ignore it, but definitely, I promise you that they hear the cheers more than they hear the boos, and they use that towards their performance. But all that was learned, and ROW is the sort of the culmination of all that hard work.
Very cool.
What wrestlers were you a fan of growing up?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a Hulkamaniac when I was a little kid. But
same here, brother.
I mean, who wasn't, right? I mean, geez. Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. God, that guy just got better as he got older. I definitely looked at him as far as how he went out there and how he told his story. I see the matches as stories, and how he tells his were, in my opinion, second to none. As far as work goes, right now I'm actually really high on Shinsuke Nakamura from New Japan. That guy to me is probably the coolest guy out there. If you guys haven't seen him, he's the New Japan Intercontinental Champion over there, and the coolest looking wrestler in my opinion, and guys going out there and having killer matches. So I'd say those two guys are definitely my inspiration and my muses to continue towards the wrestling business.
Cool. You spoke earlier about getting reactions from the crowd, whether it be positive or negative, just as long as you're getting some sort of reaction. When you go to a place for the first time, the fans don't know about your character. They don't know who you are. They don't really know whether to cheer or boo you when they first see you. So how do you establish yourself? Like, when does that moment begin? Does it begin like whenever you're making your way to the ring, or do you wait and let your actions in the ring speak for themselves?
It's funny because this is really true. The way I'll know is as soon as I walk in through the curtain, the very first thing I yell off the top of my lungs is Cuba, and that usually gives me a lot of boos. And I even tried it as when my brief stint as Babyface, and I still got boos. So just the general consensus is people do not like foreigners. That's what I got out of that. So I couldn't answer that question because everybody hates me.
So it's as you're walking out of the curtain, that's when you establish yourself. Because
it is, because, and this is another, this is how it is for me. You can ask this question to anyone else and they might give you a different answer. But, all day I could be thinking about, because I like those little details, the entrances. That's really important. That's as important to the story, because that's your entrance into the match. And I always think, it'd be great, maybe I'll, try this, or, maybe wear this, vest or jacket, wave the flag or whatever. But as soon as I get out there, it just comes to you. You don't think about it, you just do it. The very first thing that comes to mind, that's the best route to go. And I can't help but just make this face and it's just people just do not like it. I just got this like mean little stare, and I can't help it. It just, it's really cool music playing in the background, and it just comes out, So people can like it maybe because they like bad guys, but generally people don't like it.
Very cool stuff. Well, we look forward to hearing you scream out Cuba at the top of your lungs. December 14th, Clear Lake Sports and Recreation Center, 16511 Diana Lane, Houston. Showtime going to be 7:30. Christmas Chaos 8. Like we said earlier, Gustavo Mendoza versus the Pride ROW Championship. Don't want to miss that. Also, the Boogeyman set to appear, as well as Stevie Ray, many other matches. For all the information on that, you can go to realityofwrestling.com. You can go to feed.com. That's PHEED.com/Booker T. You can also find the show on YouTube by searching youtube.com/the Booker T ROW. You can follow him on Twitter at Booker T ROW. Gustavo, do you have any social media outlets out there for you?
I do. I got my Twitter account, Gusto_M88, capital G, Gusto_capital M88.
Very cool.
For my Twitter account, yeah.
Good stuff. Well, we certainly do appreciate you coming on. Hope to see you out there down at Christmas Chaos. And we certainly appreciate having you on.
Thanks, Gustavo.
All right, thanks, guys.
And now, Total Divas with Doug and Tyler. Mostly Doug.
No wonder people call you fat on Twitter.
Shut up! I have to say, I feel like a real diva.
You are a grown-ass woman.
Hey, it's time for Total Divas.
That's how you started? That's how you started Total Divas.
Was that awkward.com?
Oh, man.
All right, take it
Gotta
away.
do something.
That's how you're starting.
Hi.
Start off.
So, okay, let's pick a story or one part of it. Let's do John and...
Should have chugged my drink.
Oh.
Plugging in a drink.
John and...
Nikki.
We can do that one, yeah.
You're like John and and I say
two Johns.
Nikki, and you're like,
There's two Johns.
oh, okay. Well, which one do you want to go with?
We could do John Cena and Nikki. So pretty much this episode, she wants to put candles and she wants to just do things to make the house like more personal. What?
Keep going, because I'm gonna do my favorite thing. One of my favorite things that's happened on the show so far is when Cena had like the fucking the hampers. He was like, oh,
okay, when we get to that. So,
Oh, my God.
just different parts of the episode.
he's OCD.
Yeah, he's very OCD. So she wants to, hey, how about we put some pictures, because his house is pretty much empty and he likes it a certain way, and it's
very like sterile, very like.
He acts weird when it's like, hey, when she's like, hey, can we put some candles? Can we put flowers and just do all this stuff? And he's like acting all weird, and she got back from working out, and she was about to take a shower, and she was putting her clothes in one of the hampers. He freaks out. There's two different hampers.
He's like, did you put your workout clothes in this hamper? And she was like, yes. And he was like, workout clothes go in this other hamper. They're like side by side. He's got the workout clothes hamper and the fucking like the nice clothes hamper. Did he call it the nice clothes hamper?
Yeah.
Anyway, but he was like, she was like, are you fucking kidding me or whatever? And he's like, to illustrate his point, he like starts talking with the hampers, like moving it up and down like they're
put your clothes in me.
I'm the workout clothes hamper. Your dirty clothes go in here. I'm the nice clothes hamper.
It was funny. And then he goes to work out, and then he's playing chess with one of his friends, and then his friend made him realize, hey, I know that you have you do these certain things, but the stuff that she's doing is not hurting you. Oh, before that she was trying to cook, and he was acting weird about that all stuff, and like
she doesn't like have anything in that, like, which I relate. Like, I don't have, like, I'm pretty OCD, and I also don't have any like groceries in my house either. I eat out like all the fucking. And he's like, I'm gonna go to the fucking grocery store and like put all this shit in the fucking house. And he's like, what the fuck?
I don't care. I'm gonna do it. And he was like, that's just weird. I like seeing this this marble, this slab right here with nothing on it. This is weird with food on it.
She like washed her hands or something, and he was like, "That fucking water get on." He was like, "Did that water get on the floor or whatever?"
It's like, so what if it did? Because if it gets on the floor, it'll warp it. It'll warp the wood, and like it just goes. Into
I can
detail.
understand and appreciate John Cena's OCD.
Well,
I got no problem with it.
if you make a mess, clean it up.
Look,
you know.
Look, this is the clean clothes hamper.
This is where the dirty clothes happen. This is where it goes right here. But no, I mean,
if you wonder what Dino does while we're talking about Total Divas, he's literally like surfing the web on his phone.
when we get to certain parts, he'll laugh too.
This is y'all's time to shine.
Yeah, okay.
This is your segments, guys.
But it ended up, he surprised her when she got back, I guess, from a show or whatever, because she just come in with her luggage. But he had candles, he had flowers, there's pictures and all that stuff, and it's like, hey, I apologize for my habits and all that stuff, but yeah, this is for you, and they kiss, and that's pretty much it on that one.
Bang bang.
Bang bang bang. They have kids.
Wow.
We added the bang bang part. That didn't happen. Okay, so what else happened?
Other John.
Oh, so Trinity's dad's like in town. He's like a jazz musician or something. Like he's on the road all the time, so I guess they're not like super close. So she probably has like a little bit of daddy issues. So she's like, "Oh, dad's the best," and like dad's in town, and he's not staying in a hotel, and he's like staying at our house or whatever.
They have a small apartment.
Yeah, a small apartment. Which I'm kind of with John on this. Like, I don't know. Like, why can't dad get a hotel? How do you feel?
I'm split because I know that I guess she's a daddy's girl and all that stuff. So apparently they slept on a couch.
Yeah.
While he did, slept on the bed.
Well, it's not like he's in town. He needs a place to stay, but he was.
How long did he stay? I didn't.
They made it seem like 2 weeks or something, like something weird, right?
I don't think it was that long.
No, but like they presented it like that, right?
Yeah, it did.
So what's your cutoff? Like, okay, so Daryl's dad's gonna stay with you guys in your small apartment. Like, how long are you okay with it?
Until he gets
Never?
a fucking job.
What if he just wants to play in his band? Well, what if y'all are like, like getting like touchy on the couch and like he's coming in it too to like make a sandwich? Like, this happened.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Are you like, get the fuck out of my crib or what? How long before you say get the fuck out of my crib?
Wow.
What's your limit? Does it depend on the situation?
I think it depends on the situation too. If he can, if it's, I don't know, man. I get a month tops.
A month?
If he can't,
you're fucking patient, dude.
If something's happening, if it's a bad situation,
like what? Define bad situation.
Okay.
Like,
well,
he
if it's a
can't-
job thing,
There's like no fooling around because he's like making sandwiches all the time. whenever
That'd
you're
be
trying to
weird.
get-
it's like,
to
dude,
get
we
with
can't
it.
fool around because he's always making sandwiches. That'd be fucking
You
weird.
give it a fucking month. You're a stand-up guy. You're a fucking prize, Tyler Abear. You're the best dude on the planet.
That's me being
I'm
nice.
like, I give it like the weekend. And I'm like, get the fuck out, bro. Like, that's so weird. Like, you can't be yourself or anything.
Yeah. It's like if I want to
Can't
walk
just, like-
around naked, I can't do that.
Right. I don't walk around
I don't
naked.
either. I'm just
How
saying.
often do you walk around naked there,
I've done it one time.
when you were in front of the mirror?
It was awkward.com.
Hope you had your socks and shoes on.
That'd be weird. I'm naked, but I have socks and shoes on.
That's not weird. That's sensible.
I'm going jogging.
That's a callback.
Oh god.
So okay, they have a party. No. Her dad has like a event, like his band's playing at some place or whatever.
A gig?
A gig.
Wait, whoa. Well, he invites a bunch of people over to the crib, though.
Yeah,
right?
after party, and John has to leave or early the next morning or whatever, and he doesn't want these people here. And he was like, okay, well, it's me or them. So he leaves, and that eventually,
She picks her dad.
No.
Not in the end.
Oh yeah, well that time she does, but at the end, whenever she took her dad out to the doc and told him about, they've been they've been fighting, so it's over because you're here. That's why.
Right. And
because we have a small apartment, and all this. He just wants to relax. So, and it's like, well, the dad understood, but he's like, well, I thought I'm your number one man. He's joking, and she's like, well, you're 1.5.
So, like, Daryl's dad is, like, hanging out in your small-ass apartment or whatever and, like, making sandwiches all the time and, like, having after parties, like, having a bunch of people getting drunk in your apartment. You let it slide? Or are you, like, you put
that would piss me off. I'm like, always people I don't know because they actually do know a lot of people, but if they fucking come over and like, oh man, this is bullshit. It's like you're drinking all my drinks, you're eating my food.
So say you're relaxing in bed in your room.
They can't because he's got the
We're on the couch. We're on the couch.
We're on the couch.
We're on the couch.
Well, we're doing hypotheticals.
No,
here.
hypothetical. Okay. They got to be on the couch.
All right.
Go ahead.
We'll say you're on the couch, and for no explained reason, Daryl's dad just shows up and is like, "Oh, I'm staying here." And
yes, I'm making a bunch of sandwiches.
I'm making some sandwiches, and I brought a bunch of friends.
Well, he made a good sandwich on the show. Did you see how big that sandwich was?
It was not that big. It was like a double-decker.
Yeah, I want a double-decker.
That's some rookie shit.
Were you going to get a triple-decker?
Finish your scenario.
That was pretty much it.
What else happened?
That was pretty much it after that. And then they had the Natalia and Ava Marie, whatever. Like, that was short. That was all it pretty much was. It's like, Ava Marie was just trying to get scanned for
for an action figure.
Action figure. Natalia was
like,
just,
fucking, you shouldn't have an action figure yet.
That's pretty much it.
Pretty much it.
And JoJo, I don't know what the fuck she was. Not there.
I don't know.
I actually put this in the end.
Oh, no. Vinny. How can we forget about Vinny?
Oh, he trained. Oh, my God. I forgot. Our boy Vinny.
Yes.
Oh. Dude, we were this close to, like, losing team captain of Team Vinny status right
Yes.
Whew, that was a close call. So basically, like, Vinny's like, doing his thing. He works like for an armored car company, I believe, or something. And Ariane's like, yo, you don't dream big enough.
He wants to do a hookah bar thing.
Yeah. He's got aspirations of starting a hookah bar, which is pretty cool. Like, I can get with that. And I quit smoking. I'm not smoking anymore. But still, maybe I take the hookah up every now and then. But she's like, you don't dream big enough. You need to have aspirations. I think you should try to be a WWE superstar. He's like, yo, babe, that's like not my thing. Like, I don't know if
She pressures him.
Yeah, she was like, basically, he was like, I don't know. She's like, well, just at least tell me if the opportunity presented itself, you would take it. He's like, pretty much just appeasing her. And she was like, babe,
Babe.
He says babe like so much. Poor guy. But, yeah, so she's like, she calls up Bill DeMont and gets him like a tryout or whatever.
Well, before they start training, she's in the studio, right? And she's
laying down the hot track.
She's
got a single coming.
Is she starting her own brand called Bomb.com?
I don't know.
Is that how I understood it or something? She's like, I'm doing the tracks for Bomb.com or something like that.
No, I think she was just describing her track as Bomb.com.
Oh, okay.
Her track was the Bomb.com. It's not titled Bomb.com.
Okay. But after...
we'll do some research and let y'all know.
Okay, yeah, we'll tell you what.
Yeah, so she's like diversifying her brand. She's like has a single. I guess she's gonna have an album or whatever. She's singing, and Vinny's in the studio, like being a supportive ass boyfriend's like, that sounds good, babe.
That's a rap. And they do the head scissors in the studio.
Yeah, like she was like doing moves on Vinny in the studio, and like the engineer and the producer were like, "Yo, you want me to do it on you?" And he's like, "No, that's cool, whatever." And yeah, whatever. So she's like pressuring him like to try out for like the NXT thing, and he doesn't really want to do it. He says it's not his thing, but she's like, "You got to dream bigger. You need to be a WWE superstar. It'll be great. What could go wrong?" So Vinny's like, "Fine, okay, fine, babe, I'll do it." And so they show up to like she introduces them to like Bill DeMont or whatever, like at the training facility, and he's like, "Oh, blah blah, whatever." He's like, "Let's get started" or whatever. So they do this training montage video of him doing like all this crazy shit, and then like they put up a graphic on the screen. It's like 4 minutes in the ring, and he's like dead. But like, yeah, it's total bullshit. Like they had him doing all kinds of shit, and they're like, it's only been 4 minutes, and like, no fucking way, I believe that was only 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
But he's like dead because they're fucking like just working his ass out. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, just drills and shit. He's not like bumping.
Well-
anything. Well, he was bumping a little bit, wasn't he?
Yeah. And how she explained, he works out, but he doesn't do cardio.
Yeah, he's a weights guy, not a cardio. His cardio's not great or whatever. So he's like fucking dying and like about to puke or whatever. And Bill DeMont's kind of like, what the fuck?
He's being a dick, but he's being nice too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's like much more of a dick in like real training. I don't know. I mean, I feel like they try to do that like half-assed, like they try to break you the first day or whatever, like type thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But basically it's like, you fucking, or you can't handle this, you know, don't come back until you're like in fucking shape to do this or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's Vinny's like super upset because he's like embarrassed because, you know, like he didn't really want to do it, but she pressured him into it. But like, you know, he was like gonna puke and shit, and like he's like dying out there, and he's like embarrassed. He like starts crying. She's like, "Hey, were you crying?" He's like, "Just I'm embarrassed, you know, whatever." Like he goes back and like tries it again, doesn't he? Do it a second time?
Yeah, he does the second time, and it's still like the first time, and he's hard. You know, he's doing all that stuff. And
He's doing more bumps like this.
Yeah, and they just talk it out, or he goes in the corner with his girlfriend. They talk it out, but he comes back and he does it more. And Bill DeMont's like, "Yeah, this is not for you."
Yeah, but basically, like she pressured him into it. He didn't really want to do it.
Yeah, and he cries at the end.
Well, he cried because he was embarrassed. Or whatever.
He was embarrassed because
Poor guy.
He goes like he said he felt like, you know, she kind of pressured him to do it, and he feels like that he got made look like a fool.
Right.
And she realized it was her fault and all that stuff, and she shouldn't have done that. And then
like reoccurring theme is like Ariana realizes she's not all that great of a girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's their story every episode. Like everyone's got a story every episode. It's always like, and Ariana was like not very cool to.
You know what they need to have is at the end of the season have like a reunion show and have someone talk to him.
They did that. They did that after the first one. They did that like the. It's very like Road Rules Real World Challenge-esque where they like have them sit down and talk.
Someone is like, "Do you feel like you're a bad girlfriend?" But at the end of that story, she talked to him and all that stuff, and he I guess the week after he wanted to get a place for his hookah bar and all that stuff, and he's going to quit his other job to pursue that, and he's going to get on that, and yeah.
I wonder if that's a good gig, the armored car business.
No telling.
Hashtag Team Vinny.
Make sure it's.
We should claim that hashtag in case it takes off.
I'll get to it. Anything else to add for this week's Total Divas?
I don't think so. That was pretty much it, right?
I wonder if Ava Marie's really getting an action figure.
I don't know. She was talking about her boobs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
small waist, big boobs, or something like that. I don't know. It was very awkward.
Yeah. Awkward.com.
Well, thanks for that, guys. What do we have to look forward to for next week?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I'll never remember these things.
Hey, it's like a surprise. It's like,
Okay.
It's something to look forward to.
So there you go. So
I'll tell you now.
So time to go into the hot topics regarding Total Divas. There is a rumor that JoJo has reportedly asked officials if she can be, if she can lessen her exposure on Total Divas in order to concentrate on her training and in-ring work. What do you guys think about that?
Well,
if she's serious about the wrestling part, I think it's a good move.
Yeah. What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, that would be a good move because I feel like they trained her, or a little bit. She did some stuff, or from what I've read and seen, but they just picked her, I think, for the show maybe. Because was she in the developmental before they did the show?
I don't think so. I'm not sure though.
Okay.
I'm not real sure.
If
she's serious about like actual ring work shit, then yeah, it's probably a good move.
Okay. Other hot topic news: Michael Hayes has returned from his personal time off.
Did you just air quote that?
I did. Air quoted that.
I was just pointing that out because our listeners, it's an audio show.
Yes.
They can't see.
Well, I hope that the emphasis in my voice, the personal time off, kind of showed that I was, okay.
I'm adding to it.
Okay.
I'm adding to it.
Cool. We're making sure that everyone is clear on the quote unquote. So yeah, hopefully he can come in and straighten out some of the stuff that's going on backstage, confusions.
Or maybe he can just conduct himself in a professional manner. Either or.
That'll work too. Some WWE 2K14 news. DLC pack released earlier today. Yeah.
I got up early this morning just to download it.
Yeah.
I usually wake up like 30 minutes before I have to go to work, but I woke up earlier than that. And you get Fandango, and
Days Breathe.
Big E Langston duet.
So Days Breathe.
You also get the Bellas and Summer Rae.
Oh yeah, Summer Rae, but I didn't see the Bellas. No, I did. I haven't played as them.
And 30 new moves.
Yeah. What was cool is
Do you know when the Infamous is dropping? Do you know that?
I think it's at the end of 2014.
This is
Not March?
No, not March. Couldn't be March.
that's really not March.
Not March at all. One thing is neat is Biggie Langston when he comes out and he does that the powder thing. Whatever when you're playing him in the match, you still see the powder on his hands. Nice. So like if you're playing as him, he's still gonna have the powder on his hands no matter what.
Does it fade away?
No,
Oh.
it's just still on there.
Well,
But also little things I've noticed is it seems like they put more into Biggie Langston's look because he's DLC than they did in the Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns doesn't like look his size. Biggie Langston looks like his size. Roman Reigns doesn't. So I think that's funny. What else? I haven't played Summer Rae or the Bellas. Some of the moves I checked out, they have the Pepsi plunge, what CM Punk does, the pedigree off of the corner onto the ground, but they call it the soda plunge. They have the Koji clutch. There's other moves I haven't even looked at, but
Okay.
I thought it was cool that they have the soda plunge, air quotes.
So go out and get that
Yeah.
DLC if you have the game.
And they have one more pack. I think it's next month.
Cool. So there you go. Other hot topic news: the Slammy Awards have announced who the presenters will be. Jerry the King Lawler, Booker T are going to be hosting the event. The Shield will present Slammy Award for the Double Cross of the Year. Christian will present Slammy Award for Awesome Moment of the Year. Bret Hart will present the Match of the Year. Eve Torres will be back for the Total Diva of the Year. And Shawn Michaels.
She's back. She's going to be part of Total Divas.
And Shawn Michaels will present Superstar of the Year. So
We should. Do you think we could we have like a week before this happens, right? Do you think we could get like a hashtag Twitter like movement going for Vinny to get like Total Diva of the Year or something?
Oh,
like
that would be so cool.
What would be the appropriate hashtag though?
Slammy Vinny? I don't know. Vinny for Diva?
Vinny Slammy Vinny Slammy. We always do this thing where like, oh, we should do this cool thing, and we're kind of like, oh yeah, but that requires
Listeners need to help us come up with something cool.
No, because by the time we need to say it now if we're going to
Now?
make it happen.
WWE.
Are you guys going to
Team
tweet with the
Vinny.
hashtag?
No.
You have to, or we're not doing it.
Then we don't have
I'll
to.
do it.
He'll do it.
I'll do it.
He'll do it. Mr.
You got to do it too.
2 or 3 tweets. He'll do it.
Abra tweet it, you tweet
I
it.
said tweet.
I'll tweet it on the podcast one.
All right.
You got to tweet on yours. You got to tweet on yours. Go ahead and follow Tyler_Abear,
Do it.
WNS_Daniel.
Do it.
They're going to be tweeting with the hashtag that we're about to tell you right about now.
Hashtag
Come on, seriously.
Total Vinny.
That is a good hashtag. We should hashtag Total Vinny, right?
Total Vinny.
But that's not going to work for the Slammies.
Damn it. Total Vinny Slammies.
No, that's too long. Got to keep it simple. All right, fucking
Slam
scratch it.
Vinny.
Slam Vinny.
Or
Slammy
Vinny
Vinny?
Slam.
Should we try?
Fudge.
Should we try to start a campaign for the Slammies, or do you think we can get this off the ground? Nope, we can't do it.
Damn it, Daniel. It's because you don't watch Total Divas.
It's impossible. Oh God.
I mean, I'll support you in anything you want to do, but I'm just trying to be realistic here.
What is the categories again? Let's see which one that Vinny.
Diva of the Year, Superstar of the Year, Match of the Year, Double Cross of the Year. This was awesome. Match Moment of the Year.
Bomb.com.
Cookies of the Year. No, I don't.
What is there one that we can realistically put Vinny into that we can start a movement for?
Double Cross, Awesome Moment, Match of the Year, Total Diva award for Superstar of the Year.
Awesome moment.
Like all the moments.
All the moments.
God, I wish
The moment where he says that he wished that God would give him a small weenie.
Babe, what you want me to do?
Just watching your reaction. That makes it so worth it.
Oh, that's the best. We're gonna start a hashtag for Vinny next week.
Next, the week after, the day after the
We're gonna try to like. There's no way we could do a hashtag for Vinny that would make it seem like he should win one of those. It'd be too long and too complicated.
Okay.
Damn it.
Damn it.
There you go.
Shucks.
Do you register the hashtags? Is that like a thing?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't
You
know,
just
because
do
I was
it.
this one podcast where the guy like started the hashtag and then like he got people start like sending him shit. Like,
That's weird.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Weird. So strange.
I don't know.
Yes. Yes. Typically. So with that being said, it's time to move into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. Only question coming to us this week from Mike. But he does have some feedback going into the question. It says, so first and foremost, I have to say that I've been listening since about episode 10. This podcast has really gotten me through some tough times in the past few years. Every week, I look forward to listening to you guys. You guys do an awesome job. I want to thank you for continuing to do this. Doug, no matter what they say, you're cool as hell in my book, man. And if I was able to make it to WrestleMania, I would be honored to have a drink with you. I may not always agree with everything you say. I enjoy Big Bang and
How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, How I Met Your Mother. Okay, but it's how you feel, and I respect it as that. To those who enjoy the podcast and complain, I have to say, don't like it, don't listen. It's free, and no one's holding a gun to your head making you listen. It's awesome to have an opinion. But that one cat who decided not to listen because he was butthurt over an opinion, grow up. Also, love the Total Divas section of the show, and Vinny is the man.
Yeah.
All right.
Mike, we need to get a hashtag.
Too bad we couldn't debut our new hashtag
Yeah.
right then. But we're gonna work on that, Mike. I mean, first and foremost, like just responding to, thanks for being with us for so long every
Definitely.
week. We
Yeah.
really do appreciate that. It's super motivating to know that people give a fuck enough to like come every week and like ready to listen to the show.
Glad we could be there when you needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say about like getting you through, like saying that we had any like minuscule part in getting you through some tough times is like fucking flooring. I mean, like I don't even know how to respond to that. But, like, oh man, like that's crazy that
That's just awesome.
Yeah.
We're just humble. We're just.
yeah, that's very humble.
Yeah.
man. I mean, I'm glad that we could be, a bright spot in your day for however small of a part that is. That's fucking amazing. And,
Yeah.
of course.
half or an hour and a half out of an entire week that we can help.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for getting my back. I mean, fuck, dude. If we ever in the same place at the same time, we'll fucking make sure we get some beers in us. But
Hell,
that's
even
fucking
just
awesome.
come to New Orleans. You don't have to go to WrestleMania. Just show up.
Yeah, we'll get some drinks.
Yeah, man.
So go to the indie shows that they'll be having. You don't have.
Fuck
You don't,
yeah, we're gonna tell Tyler his girlfriend can't go. Well, you can have the tickets.
Come with us.
So
But on the real, like, super humbling. Like, we're glad we could be there for you in any fucking small way, and like
Yeah.
appreciate you coming like every fucking week. That's fucking awesome,
Definitely.
dude.
It's very good stuff. But here is Mike's question. I think the whole ministry storyline was one of the best of the company, especially in the Attitude Era, with them pushing the Wyatt family as the creepiest thing in the universe. Do you think they will create a storyline of that sort for them, or is that idea a thing of the past? Also, could you make if you could make the storyline, how would you do it? Take your time.
Well, I do feel like we're kind of past it now. I thought they were kind of hinting at it first with Kane, although we knew he was going to go do some movie shit. Felt like for a while when they were like focusing on Kofi and Miz and guys like that who did not have a lot going on, I think we even kind of kicked around the idea a little bit between ourselves. We're like, we could definitely see them like
And now Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I don't know about Bryan, but like some guys who didn't have things going on, like your Miz's and your Kofi Kingston's, I could definitely see them like, dragging them out and like them coming back like as part of the, the group or whatever.
Yeah.
And we thought they might actually be working to that for a while.
I think had they done that with Kane, like had they pulled that off with Kane and then tried to go after Kofi and tried to go after Miz, it would have made more logical sense if they went after Daniel Bryan, saying, "Okay, we got these guys now. We can get him," but he would be the one to try and fend them off.
Yeah, although I don't know how much I want like Miz and Kofi like fucking up the Wyatts.
Yeah. They'd just be in the background. They'd be extra, muscle.
But I feel like if they were gonna do something like that, they kind of had the opportunity to do it, and I don't necessarily see like a.
Sorry.
I don't necessarily see like a great like opportunity for them to start that now.
Okay. And how would you make the storyline for Wyatt family?
I mean, like honestly, like that, but not with shitty guys that I hate. Like I would do it with.
What?
I mean, like guys who don't have anything going on. Like like there are any number of guys who don't really have anything going on that they could like just drag out like over the shoulder, like.
I know they have monsters. Why don't they like get like a high flyer on their team?
Why not go after Brodus Clay right now? I
mean, I think Clay would be fine. I mean, even like Tyler said, if they want to diversify the group a little bit, like a flyer would be fine too.
Yeah.
Who'd you have in mind, Tyler? Who's a spottier dude who's not doing too much?
Evan Bourne.
If they come back,
we'd have to come back for them to take him out again.
No, okay.
Found Evan Bourne. He's one of us.
I don't know if they'll necessarily work on this guy because I haven't seen him in a while. But what about I don't know, Justin Gabriel? No, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if he could look. He's like too pretty boy. I don't know if he could look scraggly enough.
Cut his hair, maybe grow out a beard. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like shade. He's got that like flashy haircut shit going on.
Yeah.
It'd be weird, but yeah, interesting.
I mean, like I felt like they had an opportunity to do it, but it kind of feels like they passed it now. And I mean, kind of just what we said. We were gonna do it.
Yeah, the good stuff. Thank you for the question.
Thanks,
we do appreciate everyone who listens each and every week, even if it's the first time you've listened. We certainly appreciate it.
We like to say this. I know there's been a lot of people who's probably listened to us from the beginning who hasn't responded. Hey, let us know. Or new people that are just listening. And if this is also your first episode, also go back in the past to our past episodes and
check out some of our interviews.
Interviews.
Good stuff from there. We do want to thank our guest from this week, Gustavo Mendoza, Reality of Wrestling. Go and check them out. Go support your local indie wrestlers. Good stuff from there. Don't forget to submit your questions on our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, also our YouTube page, WNS Video. You can check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com and WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. You can subscribe to us on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at WNS Podcast, and for the main site, WN Source.
Hey guys, just to let you know, we're now following Vinny on Twitter.
Yes.
If you want to follow Vinny on Twitter, he is at Beast Mode 911. That's a shoot, brother. I'm not making that up. It's B. The E is actually a 3 though. B3AST MODE 911. We're now following him, and
hells yes.
Hopefully, we're going to get him involved in some kind of
also.
Awesome hashtag.
If you watch Total Divas, and also if we turned you on to Total Divas, tell us what you think about Vinny.
God.
Come on, babe.
There you go. For the podcast crew, I am Dano Heron.
I am Tyler Aber.
I'm Doug.
And we'll catch you all next week.
Awkward.com.